Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. It's Brad Reichart, aka Good Energy Brad, coming to you live at 5. And, this is one of those interesting weeks, and so much has been changing, so much is in flux. And I just wanted to cut this video, and, this is about life hacks. It's about going from the employee mindset to the entrepreneurial mindset. And one of the ways that I have been able to do that is with neuro-linguistic programming, NLP. And that's the Tony Robbins kind of database. And so if you haven't listened to him, really, yeah, it's worth going to check out. It's very noteworthy, and there's a lot of really good information that he shares. And so I've jumped on these, and people come in, they go off, and it's not a big deal, but I just wanted to share some of the little things that you can do, you just need to be aware of, that will help your business. And it's about your communication and what's going on up here, right? And I mentioned this the other day about how we really don't use a whole lot of our brain. And, Einstein was a genius, and he used 5 or 6%, and most people use 2 to 3. And so, let's turn off the TV, get rid of the boob tube, and, this is a lot of fun when you go in deep. And the further you look, this is an investment in yourself, the better off, the more effective and efficient your communication will be. So, holy cow, guys, this is really remarkable. And, these lives are about, just a little bit of, that little bit of salt that goes so far, that little bit of inspiration maybe for you. And, check this stuff out. This is good stuff. And, with NLP, that's a really deep body of knowledge. And what I can share is I was doing some coaching recently, and some of the ideas I was able to go into were just mind-boggling. I mean, you could tell that this was way outside their knowledge base, and I was able to really help them and shift some of their communication. So what I'd like to point out is that, okay, so there's only 3 types of communication. There's nonverbal, which is the strongest, most obvious communication, because you can see when you meet someone, either they're happy to see you, you can see their stress level, you can see what is kind of going on and how the communication is going to start. Not how it's going to end, but how it's going to start. Like, you can look across the street and see if somebody's having a bad day, right? You can also look across the street and see when somebody's in a really good mood. And it's just so obvious. Nonverbal communication is fully 60% of the communication that we all possess and share. So this is a quick video about NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. Wanted to get back to my audience. I had some questions on that recently with some of my coaching clients, and they were like, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. So 60% of all your communication is nonverbal. And the point is that you can see across the parking lot, across the room, if people are in a good mood or kind of a bad mood. And sometimes you may not be able to tell, but usually if it's one extreme or the other, that's real obvious. So, and the second part is that about 33% of your communication is your tonality, because I want to help you is a different communication than I really want to help you. I want to help you. Right? Versus, I want to help you. Okay? So these are kind of intuitively obvious, but in our communication, you'd be surprised all the kind of loose ends that kind of crop up, because the actual words are have the least amount of value. That's only about 7% of your communication, because think about all the words that in our language which have multiple meanings. Right? So what am I talking about? Well, you think about it. In your own language, if you're giving directions and you say, yeah, it's over here on the right, right? What did I just say? Is it on the right? Or am I in the correct place? So, yeah, this is one of those cool things where if you look deeper into this, the think about it. Once again, the phonological ambiguities, a plane. Does that mean you're doing geometry? A plane? A flat surface? Or does that mean something flying around in the sky? Right? Does that mean a plane, something that you take off a couple of millimeters off the bottom of a door so it doesn't, scrape the ground when you close it? That's a plane, planer. This is one of those cool things, guys, where if you really start to dissect it, it's so very important because a lot of my audience is in some sort of business and they want to be more effective and efficient by making sure that your communication is clear and concise. Wow, you can really take it up a couple of levels. And in future live at fives, guess what? I'll be kind of breaking some of that apart just because it's not what you say. It really is how you say it. And I can tell you from my experience, 13 years as a career salesman, obviously I don't do that anymore because I'm tired of trading my time for money. By cleaning up my communication made it real easy to transition into entrepreneurship. And that's a pretty big step, guys. So, it's one of those cool things where that's what worked for me, and I would highly recommend you look into this. You can always reach out to me. It doesn't matter which platform you're seeing this on. Yeah, there's either personal message, direct message, or a contact button on whichever platform you're seeing this on. It's totally cool. Reach out to me, and we'll just have a conversation. I'm here to add value and help you transition. Just take the next step. And whatever that transition may be, it may be walking away from, your job. I certainly did that once. Most liberating thing I've ever done. And I'm coming up on my 7-year anniversary, which is April Fool's Day. Yeah, 13 years, whoosh, out the door, walked away, never going back. I've only been back once in the 7 years. And there's no need to ever go back. And they've removed all traces that I was there, even though I was, multi-time salesman of the year, and my numbers were above reproach. So anyway, that company's been sold, so it's not a big deal. And that's not why I was doing it. I just really wanted to help my customers. Right? Transitioning from being the employee to being the entrepreneur, and that entrepreneurial spirit, yeah, that didn't go over so well in the mainline job, right? They just wanted me to be another, mule pulling the cart full of ore so that they can make even more money. So I would highly recommend, my recommendation today is real simple, and think about who you are, what you want, right? So, yeah, you can trade your time, energy, efforts for someone else's money and build their dream. Or you can look within and focus on yourself, and you may need to do that with this under the security of the umbrella of working for somebody else for a while until you reach that point where you want to go full time as a professional marketer, or hey Karen, or as somebody that has got their little passion, their side job has become their main job. So whatever your passion, whatever your calling is, people want to know about that. And on the internet, so wherever this goes, typically people respond and they're from all over the world. So this is really cool. And with Skype and the Zoom calls and BeLive TV now, holy cow, guys, there are so many different avenues to kind of explore for what works best for you to communicate your message, and your passion will come just your passion will be obvious, and somebody wants to know about it. I mean, there's only 7 billion people on the earth these days, but get this, like 5 billion of them have an internet connection. So a lot of people are still thinking of in terms of millions or hundreds of millions. Billions are thousands of millions. Yeah. So anyway, that's my message for today, and I appreciate you checking it out. If you want to know more about neuro-linguistic programming or NLP, I'm an NLP master. Been a master for 5 years, 12 years in an initiate. I'm here to help, and it made a big difference for me because I was able to be Salesman of the Year working part-time, right, more than once. And there's a little backstory to why that happened, but it has to do with a car accident that was not my fault. And anyway, I had to think outside the box. So, ultimately, get out of your comfort zone. Stop being so skeptical. Start looking within to find the answers. And having said that, yeah, you might need a little, little grease from outside of yourself to accelerate your learnings and your potential and take yourself to the next level. So on that note, I'm jumping off. Take good care. Thanks for checking this out. I appreciate, and I will see you tomorrow for another Live at 5 with Good Energy Brad. Bye for now.